Stuart, coming into camp, here's what we saw that we think you ought to work on. You had a style or a setup that we call spider. That means you get really hunched up and really hunkered down low to the ground, where you functionally have almost no operating room beneath your body. You're really restricted and constricted. Now, if you're a big bruiser and I'm a big bruiser and we're going to line up and crash into each other in the game of football, you're not going to want to get like this to take on an opponent, right? You're going to want to be big, open, and in an aggressive stance. The same thing applies to snapping, except we can't be biased forward like in a three-point stance. It's got to be balanced neutral. So you're really down low to the ground and hunkered. Your knee bend is way beyond 90 degrees. You're almost sitting back on your heels. You're very flat-footed, okay? You have your throwing arm bent at almost 90 degrees at the elbow, okay? And you've got an extreme tilt of the ball like this. It just doesn't look comfortable, number one, and you're not going to be able to be powerful because most of your motion energy is going to be spent getting the body up and out of the way as opposed to generating drive and power and channeling it towards your target. Does that make sense? Okay. So the first thing we really need to do is probably kind of take this whole head-to-tail platform, elevate the thing like your upper body's on a scissor lift by unbending the knees. Does that make sense? We're going to take you into a more natural, fundamentally sound football position, create some space underneath. Okay. In the process of doing that, we're going to work to get the knees directly over the toes because that's going to give you a balanced neutral position, okay, from which you can really drive and accelerate towards your target. Your knees were ahead of the toes, but that's just because you were hunkered so much they had to go somewhere. You were flat-footed, and you were falling forward at the finish because as you get the body up and out of the way, you pretty much finish with all your weight forward of your center of gravity. It's inevitable. You got a flying ant on you. Sorry. Okay. So we need to fix that, okay? Most of that can be corrected by getting you set up right. So let's bring you in here. Let's do the three-step technique and see if we can't get you lined out. Getting you set up right will allow your natural athleticism to shine through, okay? I'm going to pull you forward, lean on the ball. That gets knee bend to 90 or less, straightens the back and extends the arms. Then I'm going to raise you up, maximizing operating room under your torso. Then I'm going to push you back into the hips towards your target till the heels touch the ground, knees are over the toes. That's what we call a balanced neutral position. Feel comfortable? Okay. Now you like a little bend in the elbow. That's fine. You might find later on you'll want to extend out or raise the front end a little bit, okay, to get better arm extension. But make sure you never get it to where it shifts your weight forward. Okay. That's nice and solid. Give it a good hard throw. How's that feel? Okay. Now coming into camp, you had a tendency to throw high. Because of your setup and being underextended, you tended to hold on to the ball past the plane of the legs. The only place your arms can go after that point is upward. So you're releasing late, essentially. If we open you up, straighten you up, and flatten you out a little bit, you're going to be able to release right here on the downswing, and you won't tend to throw as high either. Another thing I want you to think about as you're snapping, think about having your knuckles brush the tips of the grass blades as you pull the ball through your legs. That's going to help us lower your throw angle. We'll do some things tomorrow that'll really help you, okay? All right. So instead of three-stepping you, I'm just going to show you what we adjusted. Coming in, you were really hunkered down, okay? We took this head-to-tail platform, we elevated it, then we shifted weight till we got the knees over the toes, okay? We raised the front end a little to give you a little more arm extension, and you could move the ball out as long as it doesn't shift your weight. If you're not sure, just lift the ball off the ground till you're balanced and set the ball down. Give it a good hard throw. Feel okay? All right. Now, I think I can fix that high snapping tendency right now. Try this. If you hate it, we'll go back. Take that ball and flatten it out. Let's just see what happens. It may not work for you. It doesn't work for everybody, but that's one thing we can try. Okay? The stance is looking good. Let's get you balanced. Okay? Now, the hand's pretty perpendicular to the ball, right? Okay? You're not pushing down on the ball. No. You're not gripping it too tight or too loose. Okay? Flatten it out a little bit, throw it down and through. Let's see what happens. Better, huh? All right, let me see that ball one more time, Wes. Thank you. Let's do that one more time. Does it feel good? Yeah. It ought to feel like a more comfortable stance, for one thing. And when we get you set up right, the energy can go down the spine, up the legs into the hips, and that arrow point where those two axes of energy converge, or planes of energy where they're traveling, is going to be pointed straight at your target. That's where the ball will go. Set up right, you're going to snap. A perfect setup leads to a perfect snap because everything goes where it should, which is directly towards your target. One more time. Let's raise you up even a little more. I want to go kind of extreme on you today, okay? I got one other idea. Let's see a ball. Tanner, toss me a ball, please. Last thing I see is, Stuart, you're a little bit stiff-armed with the left arm, okay? There's a couple ways to fix that. One way is to just relax the elbow. That seems to be harder than simply doing this. Take this ball, move it over to you in your stance about 2 inches to the right. Yeah. That'll allow that shoulder to relax and allow you to make a cleaner, less stiff throw towards your target. Doesn't have to be extreme, just a little bit, okay? Good hard two-handed throw. Fingertip grip with your left hand too. Thumbs to the sky at the release. How's that? Feel pretty good? Okay. Now we have some techniques. One's called hurdle drill, one's called mini ball drill, and a couple other things we'll show you to start training you to throw at a lower target angle. Okay. Keep in mind you need to release the ball as you break that plane of the legs. Hold on any longer, you're always going to snap high. Okay. You got any questions? Work with us and let's see where we can get, how far we can get by tomorrow. Okay, good job. Okay. Just keep it rolling. We've seen some flashes out of brilliance from you that are really encouraging. Get yourself balanced. You comfortable there? Yes. Quick and aggressive two-handed throw. Excellent. How's that feel? Looking pretty good. Let's roll. Okay, so raise that front end a little bit relative to the back. Keep you nice and balanced and keep you pretty horizontal. Good aggressive throw. Feeling pretty good about what you've done here? It's looking sharp. A little wore out though, aren't you? Okay, go ahead and